Today is October the 9th, because I have the wrong date on the board. I'm going to try to record, but like I just said, if for some reason the recording stops, this computer is literally shut down 4 times today. I've had to unplug it from the wall. And then the lovely camera that I use has actually frozen about 5 times, and I've had to undo the program. So I'm going to do my best to try to, here we go, to record. Now, listen, ask me questions. I've had good ones. And I'll also point out stuff, okay? So, this is 5th period. I know, I'm already losing it. Okay, here we go. So all it is this is a study guide. I pre-wrote the problems out. Listen, if you left your study guide at home, write down the answers with me so you can at least go home and check them tonight. That's why I gave you another copy of it. Okay, here we go. So I lined up my whole numbers. Number 1 is 318. Number 2 has some borrowing. $594. Okay. Looking at number 3, doing the multiplication. Start with the 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 7 is 21. 3 times 8 is 24. Plus 2 is 26. Now, placeholder. 4 times 2 is 8. 4 times 7 is 28 with the 2 there. The biggest mistake today, 8 times 4 is 32. Plus 2 is 34. Now, another common mistake today has been right here. 4 plus 2 plus 1 is 7 with a 3. 3, 7, 4, 9, 6. Yes?
On number 2, I got 595, but I think it's because I subtracted the 2 minus
9. Just wrong. Yeah. It happens. It happens. The good thing, and I know I've already said it, but I'm just going to state it in the video, that the test is 25 to 30 questions, A, B, C, or D answer choices, meaning bubbles. The good thing about that is if you get like 595 and you don't see that answer, then look at it and see if you can figure out which one's the right one. You know, like rework it or whatever. So,
So, will we be right or a test?
Will you what?
Are we going to be right or a test?
No, you'll have scratch paper to write on. Actually, it's kind of weird. The way we have it set up, you have bubbles here, and on the other side of the paper, you can use it to write on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, here we go.
Is there again on the test?
Do what?
How many questions is there?
I think it's 25. I can't remember. It's between 25 and 30. So, okay, here we go. 5 into, now make sure you got the right thing in the house. 5 times 5 is 25. And then 5 times 1 is 5. So 51. Okay. Now, on number 5, I know I already have it written, but that is the only way to line up that addition problem. Addition has to be lined up. Decimal has to be brought straight down.
Did you put a 0 with it?
Yes, and you could put a 0 there. But 43.91 is the only answer that is right. Good on that one? Okay. 6. Looking at 6. Okay, I know I already set it up, but the original question is minus 33 with no decimal. Well, I know 33 is a whole number. It is 33.0. You should be looking at your papers with me, not your friends. Now, when I line it up, that decimal has to be lined up. Yes, personally with subtraction, I would definitely add zeros. Usually you get a better answer that way, okay? 2 minus 0 is 2. 0 minus 0 is 0. 7 minus 3 is 4. 9 minus 3, 6. That is the only acceptable answer. Listen, it would not surprise me if they tried to trick you and do this. What if you had lined it up wrong and you did that? It would not surprise me if whatever that answer is letter B in your answer choices. Okay? Here's my philosophy on these ABCD tests. Usually kids who make lower test scores usually make higher test scores. Because when you don't see your answer, you go and you rework it and you try to find it again. Okay? My friends who fly through tests and think it's cool to put it in the bucket first, you know who you are, usually make not bad scores, but where maybe you're a normal A kid, you might make a B. And it's from little stuff. It might be that the teacher just tried to put the decimal here and you chose that answer because you saw the numbers 6, 4, 0, and 2 and you said, ooh, letter A. Well, if the decimal's here, it's wrong. So what I'm doing is I'm begging you, just take your time. Take it slow. Write them out. Stuff like this. Don't try to guess at it. Work it out. Okay? I don't know. I'm just here trying to give you some hints because it is your first year doing these 9 weeks test or whatever. Okay, so something like this. Maybe they put the decimal here. Maybe they put the decimal here. But the decimal can only be there because there's 3 numbers behind it. So there's got to be 3 numbers over here behind it. So with multiplication, however many are behind the decimal is how many times we move it to the left. To the left with multiply. That help a little bit? Okay. Anybody a question? I don't mind. Okay, division. We're going to bounce the decimal the opposite way, as I call it, meaning you have to bring it twice on this one to the right to make a whole number. You have to bring it twice over here. If it's 2 here, it's 2 here. Then 5 times 9 is 45. Okay. So yes, it is 91. I would be in shock if one of the answers on the test was not 0.91. Just to see if you just brought it up. Slow down, slow down. Okay, good on that one? Okay, go on the next. You got a question, just ask. Come on. Okay, simplifying. Here is the deal with these when I teach it. The problem is, or when we talk about it, that you might simplify by something different. So don't erase yours until I get to my final answer. Okay. So like on number 9, your GCF, or the one we should divide by, is 4. To give us 3/8. Okay. If you did by 2 and you got 6/16, you should have done by 2 again to get the 3/8. That is fine, but I can almost promise you that might be one of the answers. Be careful. Okay? Like that would not be right.
Wait, we wouldn't pick that one?
No. Because it's not in simplest form. It's simplified, but it's not in simplest form. You only want that answer.
So like if we were to work out, we could still put 6/16, but our answer be 3/8.
Divide by 2 to get the 3 and the 8. Yeah. You don't want to choose A, B, C, or D until you've got it all the way simplified. Yeah. Okay, so like this one. I'm going to take it and first divide it out. 39 divided by 15 I get 2 9/15. Now, I wish you all would look, because after my weekend of grading papers last weekend, I had a reality this morning of one mistake a lot of you are doing. You are doing this. And you're telling me that my answer is 122 9/15. Okay, that 2, yes, is created from here. But that 12 that you bring down is added to 2. There's a big difference. So if we add it together, we get 14 9/15. Is that right? What goes into 9 15? 3. It's still got to be simplified one last time. Keep the 14, because that is right. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 15 divided by 3 is 5. Make sure you don't choose an answer like just 3/5. Make sure that 14's with it. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's see. On number 11, simplify by 5. And I got 5/11. Okay. 34 divided by 8. It goes 4 times, which is 32. And 2 8s. And what simplifies 2 8s? 2 to make it 1/4. Good on that one? Okay. And this one, I love it because a lot of you keep telling me they're odd or a 21's an odd number. But listen, you still got to think of the multiplication tables that can go into it. What multiplication table makes 21? 7. So all I'm doing to get my answer is I'm dividing this by 7. Does 7 go into 56? Yes. So my answer is 9 3/8. But you know, that's where if you're not sure, you may have to make a factor tree to find that GCF. Okay. Okay, last 3 to simplify. To be honest, this one doesn't. It's just that. And we could have one like that. It looks silly as a question on a test, but it's okay. It could be that way. This one is just 6. And just a big 6. Just a big fat whole number. Not 0.6, just 6. Okay. Number 16. Okay, one of these, we really need to know how to do this for next week's multiply divide. Meaning weird improper fractions. Take this, change it. It goes 5 times, 1/3's left over. Add it to the 82. So it is 87 1/3. Yes. Okay. Anybody? Okay. Going to 17. We got changing decimals to fractions. This is the division part, or simplifying to me. Meaning, okay, the way I taught this, in case you were not here or whatever, or maybe you're a parent watching, what it is they're supposed to choose what column of the place value chart that is in. It is in the tenths column. There is another trick to it. If there's 1 digit behind the decimal, then you can put 1 0 and put a 1. If there's 2 digits, you can put 2 zeros and a 1. Okay. Last step is to simplify, and it's going to be 2/5. Okay. Now, the difference in these two. This one is 1 4/10. This one is 1 2/5. If you chose 2/5, it's wrong. Make sure if they want a whole number, you include it. a lot of you missed questions on the test because of that. I am trying to get all the papers passed back. Every class is a little different. I will do some more today if y'all haven't gotten them all. And then during 9 weeks test tomorrow, I might even pass anything else out, okay? Okay, so like this one. We got a big fat 4 in front. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. 2 1/5. I'm just thinking you divided wrong, maybe. Like, 4, do you see the 4/10 part? I think maybe you just divided wrong. I was wondering if you had tried to change it to a mixed number, like your top number was bigger, but do you see what I did? You sure? Okay. This one, start out with the 4 in front, and then 45 is over 100. 45 and 100 simplify? 5. 5 times 9 is 45. And the biggest mistake of the day, 5 goes into 10 twice, and 5 into 0, 0. 4 and 9 20ths. Not 4 and 9 50ths. That's divided by 2. It's 20. Like 5 into that is 9. 5 into that is 20. Literally, tons of people today.
Because this equals 100.
So just people think 50. Like you just think half. But it's not half. It's dividing by 4. 5. I'm dividing right here. I'm dividing by 5, and here dividing by 5.
Because this is 50, and then that's another 50.
That's right. That's right. You got it. Uh-huh. Are you good? Okay. Yes. Okay, go back. Did you have the 4500ths? What did you simplify by?
5.
Okay, by 5 should have made it 9 20ths. Because 5 would be 9. And then 5 into 10 would be the 2 and the 0.
I think you just
Divided wrong. Yeah, that's okay. It's okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Got it wrong. It's been a real common one today. I'm going to wait for your attention of weird little soundage everywhere. Yes. Eventually, but we don't know what day yet. Yes. Okay, 20. That 8 is in the hundredths column. Listen, that is the tenths, that is the hundredths. Now, that means there are 2 numbers behind the decimal. You got to have 2 zeros behind the 1. Yes, it simplifies by 4. And yes, it would be 2 over 25. Okay? But you got to start out with 100. It is not 4/5. Questions? Mm-hmm. Uh-huh. No, it'd have to be an even number down here. Yeah. Okay. 26. 24. Yes. Yes. We good on that one? Going to number 21. This one was a little larger, but doable is my fancy word for the day. Okay, 17 on front, 385 is over 1,000. Now, here is my big hint on how to simplify. It ends in a 5 and a 0, which means I can divide by 5. Now, some of you may have to doodle it on the top of the paper. I keep the 17. Now, I'm going to show you, like, all I do is this. 5 will go into 10 how many times? Right here, just the 10. 2. How many zeros are behind that? Well, no, 10 was that. 2's behind it, so it's going to be 200. Then, on the top part of it, all I'm doing is 385 divided by 5. And it's 77. Like, that would be 0. Does it simplify anymore? Nope. That's it. You just got to be willing to do the math. Some of you just stopped when you got that. Okay. 0.42 is 42 over 100. Simplify by 2 if nothing else. And I get 21 50ths. Does that simplify? No. 7 times 3 is 21, but it wouldn't go into 50. Okay. 9 and 17 100ths. Does it simplify? No. Many of you didn't do the rest of the assignment, so that's why you quit helping me. I find it interesting. And 3 tenths. So that is it for the simplify. Okay. Now, converting the fractions to the decimals. You have to watch decimal placement on this. You have to. If the decimal's in the wrong place, you could definitely miss the question. Okay? Meaning, if I take this and I put 1 in the house and 9 outside. Okay, it is 1.1 repeating. I need you to know that if you choose 0.1 and it doesn't have a repeater bar, it's wrong. If you want it to have a repeater bar, then on the test it should have a repeater bar. Be careful that you don't just jump on that first answer you think it is. Okay? What if you had this on your paper? And I had this. Are they the same? Yes. Okay? Please, please, please. Okay, something like number 26 is going to end up being 1 point something. 3 divided by 5. I feel like I did something wrong, but I guess not. So, 1.6. Make sure you don't choose 0.6, because 0.6, you forgot the front number. Okay. Everybody good? Okay, go into 27, 28. 5 divided by 8. 648. 2 is 16. If I stop again for you, I'm calling a parent. It is 0.625. Make sure you choose 0.625, not like 6.25. Okay? Yes.
At my house, when I was doing it, I did 5 divided by 8 and got 1.6. And then my cousin taught me.
Good.
So,
Yes, yes. Just putting the wrong number in the house, right? Whatever's on top is always inside the house. Bottom, outside. Good. It's just something I got to get used to. I mean, it's just different. This one has a few added features. It's kind of like a multi-step problem. I don't know how else to explain it. Like, that's really what it is. So, if you start out by just cleaning it up, let's make it a real fraction, meaning take this, change it. 6 goes into 17, 2. There would be 5 left over out of 6. Add that to the 12 to be 14 and 5, 6. Does everybody agree so far?
Yeah.
Now, they want a decimal answer. So you're not there yet. Okay, final answer is going to be 14 point something. I'm going to take 5, divide by 6. 8, 48. I get 2, which is 18. I get another 2, so the 2 is repeating. So, 0.82 repeating. Like 14.82 repeating is the only answer. Okay, so y'all want to look up when I do the answer. Before that, you're not watching anything. Start out back here. Did you ever make it 14 and 5, 6? Okay, then 14's in the front. 5 divided by 6. There's all the math, and it's 0.82 repeating. Yes?
Can we divide it just straight away? 17 divided by 6.
You can, and then do you realize you get a whole number in front and add it back in? You can. Whoop! So what should it be? 3 to be 18, yes. Thank you. Y'all are cracking me up. I heard some talking and I was like, I've done something wrong, but I'm kind of waiting on them to tell me what. 6 times 3 is 18. And you're right, it is 0.83 repeating. I've only taught this lesson 5 times today. That's the first time I got that wrong, but it happens, especially after 5 times. Anyway, yes?
I forgot to add the 12, so my answer was 2.
Yes, be careful. 2 and whatever, 0.83. Yes. And it wouldn't surprise me. She's saying she forgot to add the 12 in front. 2.83 could be like, it wouldn't surprise me if this is one of the answers. Be just because they're trying to see if you knew to put the 12 back with it. Okay. Okay. 20 now, and I'll see if I can not make mistakes. Here we go. Okay. Looking at common denominators.
I had it wrong, but I was now in for 6, 7, 14, 12.
I got 7 and 7/12. Most of y'all are getting real good at this. You're getting it. A lot of you, I mean, most of us have been doing this style since about 4th grade. So, I mean, we're getting it. Are we good on those two? Okay. Okay. Going to 31. Let's see. The one question yesterday y'all kept asking me was, do I have the right denominator because it's so big? But don't let that scare you. If there's nothing else, That's what you're working with. I mean, you're stuck. So, adding the 55 and the 63, I get that. 118 over 77. And then fix it up.
141.77.
Yes. You got it. Top number's bigger, so you got to finish dividing it out. Yeah, a lot of this is just off of old worksheets, guys. I mean, honestly, old tests, old worksheets. The 9 weeks test, I mean, that's why it's review. Okay, I can't do 1 minus 2. I borrow from the 9, make it an 8. Some of you are still doing this. And you're doing 6 minus 2 is 4/6. Guys, there is a plus sign between these. You got to change it to 7/6 before you take away the 2/6. 5/6. 8 minus 6 is 2. Be careful you do the whole number. A lot of you dropped the whole number on the last test. Anybody? Question? Okay. Uh-huh.
I got 33.
What'd you use for your common denominator?
Common denominator 18.
Was what?
18.
Okay, so to do this one with the common denominator 18, give me 1 second. I love it. Because I want you to see something real quick. Okay. I'm going to do my best to try to put this next to each other. Okay. Okay. $18 is fine. You're just going to get larger numbers. Okay. Good so far? Okay. When we borrow, you still change that to an 8, but the big difference is adding 18 18s. Good so far?
I know what I didn't make the 9 and 8 because I thought the bottom number had to be bigger than 5.
Ah, okay. Yeah. 9's got to be on top. 18, 19, 20, 21. Okay. This is where I wish all of you would look. Because she's just the gutsy one that asked me the question. And I want y'all to see that you're going to get the same answer. 21 minus 6 is 15 18ths with a 2. But what goes into 15 and 18?
3.
3. How many 3s are in 15?
5.
5. How many 3s are in 18?
6.
I mean, 3 into 15 is 5. 6. Look. She is not wrong. Like, I need y'all to know you can use a gigantic denominator. You could use, like, whatever, 42 or something. It's just when you get your answer, you have to simplify a bunch.
Wait, so 3 and 1 has to be an answer? Because for me, I used 6, and then when I got to 11, 6.
Wait a minute, did you add 6 6 to get 7 6? That's
So I saw that when I'm turning it over, I got, so I saw 6. So I have my thing as 6.
That's right.
And then I marked out 8. Or I marked out 9 and put 8.
Uh-huh.
Pretty sure I just added 10 instead of just
Yes. I'm going to be honest, and I'm glad you said that, because you're the only one who said it today, but I probably had 10 kids on the last test add 10 tenths. I think a lot of kids are thinking it's just always a 10 on the bottom. Like you're always adding 10. But what you're adding is always whatever these denominators are. So if those denominators are 12s, you're going to add 12 12s. Even if it's 1,000, you would still add 1,000 thousands. You're not the only, like I had multiple on the test that added 10 every time. I am nowhere near done. If you pack up before the bell rings, I'm going to keep you as long as you packed before the bell rings. I'm still teaching. I want you to make a good grade. Here we go. Okay, GCF. On these, we need the prime factorization trees. Please remember that your tree will look different than mine, but we should have the same thing, same numbers circled. Sit down. Now, looking at these numbers, your GCF, you find the matches. These 2 3s go together. This 2 and this 2 can go together. It has to be in each tree. They're the only matches. So, on this one, the GCF is 6. On the next one, please stop. I'll walk you to your next class. You need to be correcting this and fixing it. Please sit up. Seriously. On the next one, it is 50 would be 5 times 10. 2 times 5. All prime numbers. I would do 2 times 100, but like it doesn't matter as long as in the end you get the same numbers I have. Okay, so making matches of prime numbers. This is a commonly missed one. Here we go. This 5 and that 5 make a match. This 2 and that 2 can make a match. Yeah, this 5 and that 5 can make a match. Nothing else makes matches. So, 5 times 2 is 10, times 5 is 50. Okay? You got to make sure you pick them all out. One of the GCF tomorrow might be 2. Like letter A might be 2. Letter B might be 10. And then the last one be 50. Be careful. No. Listen, there's not a 2 on this side, though, to make a match. Does that make sense? Yeah, they can't be, good question, they can't be in the same tree. There'd have to be another one on that side. GCF is 50. Okay, on the next ones. Here we go. There are 3 numbers. That means whatever matches you're making, that match has to be in each tree. Okay. The only thing that is in all 3 trees is the 2. So, it is just GCF of 2. Since there's nothing to multiply it by. Okay. On LCM, least common multiple. I think of it as skip counting. Make sure tomorrow you pick LCMs for LCM. Like you don't pick factors. Like for this, you don't pick 3. When you are doing this, you are skip counting by that number until you get a number they have in common, which is 35, which is 36 for that one, which is 65. Be careful. I think.
Wait, no,
Yeah.
it's 13.
13 times 5 is 65.
Wait, 13 is?
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I got 5 times 3 is 13, so it counts 13.
5 times 3 is 15.
I got so 13, 26, 39, 42, 55.
Okay, wait a minute. What number are you skipping by 13s? 13, 26, 39.
42.
52.
Oh, that's thank you.
And then 65. I was still doing the math. I promise. You're welcome. Okay, and then 9 and 4 is also 36. Okay, on the last bit, I need you to look, so I'm going to give you some hints. Here we go. 40 through 43. Okay, we're only doing words. So, words for this one is ones. Words for this one, hundreds. Be careful. That you choose the one with the THS if that's what you want. Something like this. Hundreds, make sure you don't choose the THS. One like this. Tenths, make sure you do choose the THS. Yes.
I didn't write the word. I kind of just put like
The number. Right. Tomorrow, hint, hint, it's all words. Okay. And on the bottom part, which I know I talked about a minute ago, but please look. Okay. Here is a hint about some vocab. And this is without it being filled in. You're not leaving. I will walk you to your next class. Please sit down and quit disrupting. So, you need to know which one's on top, which one's on bottom. You need to know definitions, which you just had these on the last test. It shouldn't be that big a deal. Numerator top, denominator bottom. Okay, we know quotient is the answer to division. Dividend is in the house, but what's outside the house? Divisor. Please make sure you know which is where. Okay, on these, the word is sum. Sum goes with addition. Difference, subtraction. Product, multiply, quotient, division. Now, the last one is another hint, which is, what does the word reduce go with? Simplify. Please make sure you know that. There's my big hint about vocab, because I know there's about 25 vocab words. Hint, hint. These are the important ones. Hint, hint. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I mean, if you went back and looked at all the vocab in your binder, there's probably 20 or 25 questions. So I'm trying to give you a hint on which ones to focus in on. Any questions? Okay. You will need a pencil tomorrow. Make sure you have that. All right. Yeah, I'll give you it. Yeah.